All right, guys, we are now officially live, just making sure that everything is being seen properly on YouTube. So, guys, thank you for being here today. I know you probably could be anywhere else that you would want to be on a 6 p.m. in Central Time Zone. It is actually about 7 in Eastern. So right now, what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an overview of TravelJoy. Now, for those of you who are watching and may not know who I am, my name is Tisha Spencer, and I am a travel business owner. I've been booking travel since 2002. I've been a part of several different host agencies before I found my home, but I realized in the past couple of years, I really enjoy helping agents succeed in their business. I really enjoy in helping them be able to have those bucket list trips, have those goals, have everything set up the way that they want to go ahead and live their life. And I understand that when you first get started, guys, it is difficult trying to figure out your specialty, what tools to use, what resources, really just what to do. So what I decided to do is I found this amazing tool called TravelJoy. I've been using TravelJoy now for about 5 years or so. And the reason why I fell in love with TravelJoy is because it allows me to not only automate my trips, not only does it allow me to keep a CRM, but it has done so much more for my organization because it's mobile. So I can actually do stuff through my phone, my tablet with my clients. Now, at the end, I will be sharing a gift link, I guess. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will share it after the YouTube is over inside of the description. And this will give you 50% off for, I believe it's 3 months. And then of course you get a 7-day trial period. Now I will say this, when it comes to TravelJoy is something that you have to spend time playing with. It is not a system that you could just jump in and just run with it. You will have to take time to set up your templates, your forms, and your account and different things like that. So right now, the first part, what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what to expect when you first log in. So this is actually a live account. So there will be some things that I will not click on just for privacy reasons, because I do have people's names and information in here. So you're going to have your dashboard. Inside of your dashboard, it's going to show you all trips, whether they're inquiries, follow-ups, proposals, trips approved, trips booked, clients who have departed, because the system will automatically state that they have left based on the date you put in there when you create a trip, as well as when they return. Now, when you go ahead and get started, there are different things that, it'll tell you exactly what everything means when you go through here, which is great for if you need to get some more information. You can even move them around if you want to. I've never had a need to change it up or move it. Then you can also do waiting on. Now, this whole waiting on part right here, it lets you know whether they are waiting on you, which I have some things to do for me, whether you're waiting on a client. Generally, that's because I'm waiting on them to make another payment. And now a new feature that they have is you can actually send supplier messages through your TravelJoy. Now, what's great about this is because all of your emails and all of your communications that you do inside of TravelJoy will stay in TravelJoy. So there's no more of chasing your Google account, chasing your Facebook account. I make everybody, even if we have a conversation on the phone, a conversation on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I make everybody fill out a trip request form, especially if they're a brand new person and I've never worked with them before, because I need to get their information into the system, but it tracks it here. Now with suppliers, you can actually set up a supplier email. I'm gonna show you right here in my test trip. In my side of my test trip, you can go ahead and hit supplier messages. And inside of here, you can go ahead and put your supplier's information. Now, of course, it's going to be whatever information that you have. You put, like, for instance, I have ALG in here. I have that already set up. You put the subject and you say whatever it is that you want to say, and it's going to email them directly from TravelJoy. And when they get a response back, when they respond back to you, instead of trying to go through your travel email account, it'll just come here and you'll be able to track everything very easily, right? So we're going to go back to the dashboard real quick. So when you come to all, you're going to see everything, all of the trips that you have. You can change whether they're follow-ups, whether they're return, departed, whatever stage that they're in. You can do that from here. I really didn't mean to do that. The system is very sensitive. So, when you click it, it's going to go. But you have all the different things. Now you can even archive trips. So a trip can be archived because there was no response. Sometimes we'll get leads for trips and the clients, you'll send the information to them and then they just stop responding. or outside the budget. They said, nope, I don't want to go. It's too expensive. Not a good fit. I use that when I have a client and it's just not working. That's what not a good fit is for me, but it could be anything for you guys. Trip was canceled, you can even merge trips. So a merged trip is basically, so let's just use the names on here. So say Darnisha is going on her trip and now Sarah's like, wait, I want to go with Darnisha and I'm going to stay with her. I can merge Darnisha and Sarah into one trip. They'll still get their separate information, but now they're in one trip, and then instead of having two separate ones, then we have a new one that is called referred. I have to learn that one because that was not there 2 days ago when I was going through my TravelJoy. I have not seen that. So I will be doing some research on what referred means. That could mean that you referred them to another person, or it could mean it was referred to you. But get back to me and we'll figure that out. Now, your task button is a list of all the tasks that need to be done across all of your different group trips or individual trips. The great thing is that when you open up your individual trips, and we're going to go through that, you'll be able to see all the tasks that are needed to be done for each trip in each group. What's great about TJ is TJ automates a lot of this now. So when you set up your group trips, you can automate all of your tasks to automatically happen. Like I no longer send out invoices. It automatically does it for me based on the dates. It does reminders to when they're getting ready to go. Like there's a reminder 30 days before a trip, 5 days before the trip, 2 days before the trip, 2 days before they come back, and 3 to 4 days when they come back. So the system is going to already set out custom made forms for my clients. You have a calendar. The calendar just keeps track of your clients' birthdays, trips that are happening, invoices are due, different things like that. Now, a tip, if you are using TJ already, use this as a way to update your CRM. So for instance, we have Leslie Perkins' birthday is the 2nd of April. I can send her an email, wish her happy birthday, but in the same note, I could say, hey, when you get a chance, please update your contact information for your next trip. You know, that's how I do it. It makes it easier just to do it around the birthdays. Your contacts is your CRMs. This is your where everybody, all your contact people, they'll be in here, and that's where you would go to put all your people and stuff like that. When you want to create somebody, you're going to go to create. You could create a trip, which is an individual trip, create a group, and creating a group and creating a trip is very similar. The only difference between creating a group and creating a trip, you're not putting in an actual client's name. So here you go ahead and choose whichever photo that you want to use. We'll just grab that one, choose the name of the trip that you want to do, choose the dates, and then choose the destination. Great thing is you can change this at any time that you want to. So you're not locked in with any of the changes that you're doing. When you want to create a client, you go in here and this just creates an actual client into the system. It does not assign them to a trip or anything like that. This is the document that gets sent to your clients when you ask them to update the information. So as you can see, you're going to have your full name, phone numbers, address, tags, all this information. I actually updated some of this. I wanted to, because, you know, I have a lot of Greeks who travel with me. Then you can get relationships. So this basically means if there's multiple people inside of your CRM that has like brothers and sisters and cousins and family, you can link them all together. You have loyalty programs, which I think is really important. That way you can get all their loyalty numbers in advance. So you don't have to ask them, by the way, what's your loyalty number? Is that what the add tag is? Under relationships, where it says relationships, and then type their the relationships that they have, you can connect them. I'm not sure what you mean by add a tag. The important dates, travel preferences, and a lot of this you can get from the actual form I'm going to show you. Passport information, which is highly important if you are doing a full service agency with them, because what I do is if they give me their passport information, I put it on their booking, and if not, they give it to me later, which is totally fine. What I do is I add it to their flight, and I actually check people into their flights. So that's one less thing they have to worry about. Payment information. What's great about this payment information aspect is that it is protected, it is legal, and they don't let you see the 3 digits, the CVC numbers, that actually expires after 60 days. But I ask for my clients to do a credit card authorization form every time they do a payment, and it's online and it's digital. Any notes you want to put about the specific client, and then any trips that they're currently connected to, whether they've traveled with them or they haven't traveled with them at all. The next thing we're going to talk about is templates. Templates is where you really want to go first before you start truly playing with everything else after you set up your account, of course. The main thing I deal with is forms. I like to focus on the forms because they will give you a set number of defaulted forms that you can use, but you can edit these forms anywhere that you want. You can change them up. As you can see, I have some just for Carnival. I have one for a celebrity cruise I was doing. I have one for my chic luxury trip that I'm doing. I have my D9 trip. I have a plain regular cruise form if you don't know what cruise you want to go on. I tend to alter my trip request forms based off of my groups that I'm actually going to be doing. You can even embed it. So those of you who have websites, you can embed your client inquiry form into your website now. So that way they could just do everything on the website. They don't have to change platforms or anything like that. But I'm gonna show you what my trip request form looks like. Now this is altered. It's not what they first gave you. So you have a template, you could choose whatever name, email format. And as you can see, there's different formats in here for the template that you can use. I just use a regular form email, but all these emails are something that you can use and can be sent to people, right? You have the email button, choose what you want to say, the button, the submit button, choose what you want to say. You can add the client credit card authorization section. So basically what that means is that when you send out your trip request, you automatically get their credit card authorization at the same time. Now, only thing about that is that some people might be a little wary about giving you their credit card information up front, but I do suggest doing that when you are doing air only, because we all know air prices change very, very quickly, and you want to have that credit card information ready to go. And then of course your terms and condition, which guys you can customize, right? So in my form, the things I require is their full name, their prefix, their full name, middle name, last name. I want their name as on passport, because if they're doing international, it needs to match their passport. And then I get their preferred name. Why? Because I go by my full name legally for flights, but I don't go by normal people. I go by Tisha day to day, and I would rather people call me by Tisha than my government name every single day, right? Then you get their full address. Now, I only make the city and the state, the country, and the email, phone number mandatory. If they don't want to give me their full address, that's fine, because guess what? I'm going to get it when you do your credit card authorization form. I'm going to get it anyway. Important dates, birthday and wedding anniversaries, because the reason why you want these is because one, birthdays you need it for a lot of flights and trips and stuff like that. And then for wedding anniversaries, if their wedding's coming up, don't you want to send them a nice little card or something like that? Or, you know, maybe think about sending them on a certain kind of trip, you know, just have that information. Now, your questions: where would you like to go? When would you like to depart? When would you like to return? I have added, are you vaccinated? And my questions say yes, no, but planning to, or no, because as we know, that now makes a difference on how people can travel and where can people travel if they're choosing not to get vaccinated. And of course, are your dates flexible? Because one day could save somebody $200-300 on an entire trip. I need the airport code. And some people don't think that's really important, but if you live in cities like Houston, which has 2 airports, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, DMV area, Florida, like Miami and Fort Lauderdale, people have options. So you want to know, which airport am I truly sending you from so I don't have to guess? Because then you're gonna have to do the work over again. How many travelers are gonna be in the room? How many rooms that you need? Now for me, guys, when I'm doing a group, I only have the group person fill this out. I don't ask for everybody to fill it out because that's just too many documents. It could be too many varied information. But when we do our group training, you'll be able to see how I actually deal with groups and group bookings and things like that. I wanna know the kids, I need their ages. I really prefer birthdays because some people, it sounds funny, but some people will get ages wrong and forget that the person might be a year older or a year younger than what they're saying. I get their budget. This is how I get my budget. I give them a range. And most people choose between $2,500 and $4,500 per person. But I give them a range of the budget that I work with. And I can't wait for that person that says unlimited. Now, the travel preferences, you see how it says client profile? This will actually show up in your client's form. All this information with the blue tags will have that there. So they have all this different information that you can go through, additional contact information. I don't make none of this mandatory. Passport information, none of it's mandatory. Place of birth, things like that. So that's the form. Now, there are tons of other forms out there in the system, but that's one of the bigger forms that I think you guys should definitely pay attention to because you're going to want to set that up prior to using TravelJoy. Now, again, you can alter this any way that you want to. You can add stuff, take stuff out. Guys, it's real simple. It's drag and drop. Everything's drag and drop. Now, your emails, you're going to want to set your emails up because you're going to have to send out emails, right? So I'm going to show you like the Bon Voyage email. I'm not going to show you all, but they're all kind of similar as far as how to use them. So this one is specifically Bon Voyage. You choose, and then you choose, say, they're going to give you a template, but you can change it to say whatever you want to say. You know, and then you have your signature, and then you can always add an attachment that always gets sent out. So for instance, if you have a digital business card, you might want to attach it to the Bon Voyage email so they have your contact information in an email. Or if you want to send a funny meme about being late for the airport and running through the airport, whatever you want to do. And then once this is set up, you can literally go back to the dashboard. There's a drop down. You choose this and it'll send it to them, right? So there's tons of different email setups that you can do. They have the invoice authorized payment, invoice emails, a lot of invoice. The invoice payment due soon, because I have everything set up automated. That automatically goes out about 5 days before a payment is due, and it attaches the invoice to it. The proposal email, profile update form, trip check-in email. You know, generally that's the email I send like a day or two of them traveling. The welcome home email I send the day before they come back. So it's in their email when they get it, because guys, how many of you check your emails for real when you're having fun and traveling, right? Your signature block. You want to have a good signature block inside of there. In here, you can put your different accreditations that you may have gotten from different suppliers, from CLIA. I actually need to update this one right here. And I need to, did I update? I need to update my Virgin Voyages as well, because I am now gold. But you could put all your information in. So when they send this information out to your clients and stuff like that, they'll have all the information to go ahead and contact you. And for those of you watching, know that is not my personal cell number. That is my business line. So it's okay if it gets seen, because guess what? It's not my personal number. Let me see what else I want to show you real quick. Invoices. Now, when it comes to invoices, there's all different types of templates that you can use. Now, these are the templates that go inside the invoices, and there is a trip planning fee one as well. There is all that kind of stuff that you can choose to go into invoice, and I'm gonna show you your invoice. What I want to show you is, I want you to close. There we go. I want to go to settings, and I want to show you two things real quick, maybe three. We got time. So this is automation. You definitely want to turn this on, guys. You want to turn on the automation. You want to do those automations, and then set up the emails of when you want the automations to go out. So you can choose which one and say travel insurance and when you want it to go out. This one here, I don't remember what it was. So I'm not going to hit save so it doesn't change it. Then you can do automatically update who a trip is waiting on. It'll automatically change for you. Automation saved my life because I forget very quickly. As far as the signature block, somebody asked in the chat, how do you download those different pictures? I got them directly from the supplier. So generally when you finish your training, like when I finished Virgin Voyages, when they sent me my certificate, they also sent me the picture of the level of what I was. So I was able to just download it and put it in. So every time you finish your training, it should be there. And then for some of them, you can actually, like for CLIA, you can get from the cruising.org and download and pull it into there as well. So that's automation. I'm gonna show you direct payments. Now I'm gonna preface this that with direct payments, most travel agencies, companies do not allow you to have funds go through your account, even if it's a business account. Many big host agencies do not want to do that, do not allow you to do that for liability reasons. But you can use direct payments for your groups, for group funds. Group funds does not go into your pocket at all. It goes into a group funds with TravelJoy. They manage it. They have a finance team that manages. So if you ever have any issues, concerns, there's actually a whole team that works with you. But if you are doing research fees, you have to use direct payments because it's not going to a supplier. Those are going directly to you. Now, every host agency is going to be different, but I can guarantee most of them are going to say that the money has to be paid to you and not the host agency, just so that if there ever is any problems, you know, Joan doesn't come back and say, so-and-so ABC agency charged me $25 to research my trip. And ABC agency is going to say, no, we didn't. That was Michael who did that. We're not liable, but if you put their name on it, you make them liable, right? And then as far as your account goes, it's really just really simple. Put your name, your photo. It's very simple stuff. You know, you just got to go through a lot of this different things, check it out, to look at it, to figure it out, right? You can even do gift cards. I personally don't do gift cards because they don't do what I want it to do. They make when you do the gift cards, they don't give you an expiration date on the gift cards. They let them be good for whenever. And at the time, and I don't know if they've changed this, so let's see. At the time, gift cards were going directly into your pocket. They weren't going into a overhead account. I don't want anybody's money coming into my account because I might forget, and I don't want to forget on somebody else's money. So I've never really used the gift cards. So let's do what you've been waiting for. We're going to go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to use my test trip. So I have a test trip that I've already set up and that I use to play with. So I have email set up, and I'm gonna show you how to do all of this. So this has already been set up. We're good to go, right? So inside of test classes, I have all the information. Remember the form that guys I showed you a little while ago? From here, you can send a profile update form and send it to them. Now, when you do email messages this way, sometimes if you do messages outside of a trip format, it's going to be captured in client messages versus the actual trip. But most people really respond in the trip that you've set them up for, right? So now that we have all that set up, Tess wants to go with somebody else. This is when you create new, you get their first name, last name, and email. Very important when you're first talking with them to get their name, email, and a phone number, because you can add all that information. Then you can even CC them to make sure that every time you send out an email, a message about the trip, everybody involved in this particular booking will get the information, right? Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty cool. Now here's the supplier information. Like I showed to you before, where you can do supplier messages, and then you have your file section. What I love about the file section is that, so say you booked the trip for Tess, right? They're going on a Carnival cruise, you have their documentation. You can add their documentation here. So that way it's no more of having to log in the Carnival, find the documents, email it, and do all of that, or search your emails for it. It'll be right here for you no matter where you are. And because this is an online system, you don't have to be on your website, on your laptop, your phone. You can literally get this information anywhere you can connect to the internet. You'll have their invoices, you'll have the client inquiry form, and everything else. So I'm gonna show you what the invoice looks like. Now, if they don't pay their invoice within, I think it's like 2 weeks or so, it expires. No, I think it's 30 days, and it'll expire out. You have to unexpire it to send it out. So this is the invoice options. You could choose whichever templates that you want. So you can do package. So package is good if you're doing air, flight, and hotel, and you just copy and paste the information in. Now, whatever the total cost is, so we can say the total cost is $500, and my 5 got stuck. Let's say 520, but it's per person, but there's 2 people traveling. So you can say 520 times 2, you hit save, and watch what happens. It doubles right here. Now, another great thing is that when you're doing your trips and there's 2 people traveling in the room, 3 people in the room, you can create an invoice for every single person. You don't have to do one invoice that everybody has to pay on. And when you send your invoices, everybody doesn't need to see the invoices either. You can set it up so only the person who's on that invoice gets to see that invoice. So once you set it up, you put all the information in, you give your invoice a name. I highly suggest you put a name in here that has the client's name in it, because when you open the files, it doesn't separate by the person traveling or anything like that in the file section. It's just all there. So for this one, I would say test cabin double. I don't know, I'm making up stuff. That way I know this belongs to test. Now, when you want to add a payment, I always do this. I add one payment for the deposit, and I go ahead and change that, right? Then I go back and add multiple payments for the monthly. So I'm gonna say I need monthly payments, and the key thing to do is, so today's the 2nd. If I choose any date later in, like if I say the 14th, it's gonna make another payment due March 14th versus April 14th. So if you're gonna do the 2nd, I will go back and say the 1st, and then you choose the ending date. Now for me, I tend to choose an ending date that is, so if the trip is due July 5th, their stuff is due May 29th, just to give me a buffer. I always choose equal payments and create a schedule, and boom, no math included. Everything is set up, everything is done. Now, when they go ahead and make a payment, they send it to you, this is going to turn and it's going to say authorize with a little credit card symbol, right? You click the credit card symbol, it'll open up with all the credit card information, and it does make you put your password in order to show the card. And now what it does is that I'm not going to show that information because it's privacy issue. So I'm not going to show you anybody's information, but when it opens up, it's going to actually show you all the cards that have been used on the trip, all the payments associated with each card, and then it'll open up the card of the actual, card to make the payment, right? Then you can go ahead and mark it as paid. When you mark it as paid, it's going to tell you the invoice number, the amount, the status is going to, the pay date, and then you can even send them a client receipt. So this is what they get set every single time they make a payment with me, right? They automatically get that sent to them. And then I mark it as paid. And then the next thing it does is it scrolls back up. We're going to hit next. And then first, I'm going to show you what it looks like from their side, just so you can have a visual. So right now, this is how they can authorize. They owe 507. They have a remaining balance of 1,015, or they can choose another amount and type in whichever amount that they want. They can add a new credit card in here, and then they can go ahead, click the sign. They can sign digitally, which is pretty cool. So there's no more of sending a PDF that they have to either print out, fill out, sign, or hope they have the right PDF program in order to sign the digital invoice. Oh, I didn't unexpire it, so I can't send it. So I'm not going to unexpire. I have to go backwards. They won't let you send anything that's expired, unfortunately, which is pretty good. So that's essentially how it works for a trip. And, you know, you have your calendar, you have your tasks, like I spoke about earlier. These are the tasks that are still due. Your file section, the calendar, it'll just show you the calendar for this particular trip. And then here you can add all of your notes. You can add whatever you want, and then whatever note you add, you can always come back and add more to that same note. When you want to change it from an inquiry to a follow-up to a proposal sent, proposal approved, et cetera, you can just do that here. Now you want to go ahead and create a smart proposal. I don't do the regular proposal no more. I'm in love with the smart proposal. Now, this photo that you see is going to be whatever photo you set up when you originated the trip. And you can change that photo. You just got to edit the entire trip to change the photo. So with the smart proposal, and I'm actually show you a real smart proposal. Here you can go ahead and put the proposal title. Then you can put whatever intro you want. And then you can go ahead and add sections, add items to the sections. You can even search past proposals. So let's see what's going to show up, because I never remember what I named my trip. There we go. So you can choose other trips that you have. So let's pull this one up. We're going to start with this one because this is great if you're duplicating trips. This is awesome. So the question I'm getting is, how do you merge these invoices to do payments to the suppliers? You don't merge these invoices. You have to do individual payments with the suppliers. So if I'm just going to say, if Sarah sent you an invoice, Ayana sends you an invoice, and then T sends you an invoice, they're all going to be sending invoices at different times, different days. So all you do is just take the invoice amount, take the payment information, and just put it directly onto the supplier site. TJ does not pay suppliers directly. Even with the group funds, they do not pay them automatically or directly. You have to actually do the clicking and make it happen. I know a lot of people are looking for places to automatically pay. I think that's a bad idea because they could pay the wrong trip, they could pay the wrong supplier, etc. So now we have, they're adding the Mexican trip. It's still adding. So what's great about this is if you know that you're doing the same proposal over and over and over again, if you do a lot of Disney or different things like that, it's already set up. And all you have to do once it actually adds, and it's taking a while, once it goes ahead and it adds, it'll, did it add? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It didn't add. I don't know what happened. Let's try this one, see. I don't know what's going on, but you get the point, guys. You get the point. So you can just duplicate if you're doing the same trip over and over and over again, right? So probably nothing to preview because there's nothing there. So I'm gonna go all the way home because I want to actually show you a. I want to see if I can show you a proposal without opening. I don't think I can show you a proposal without showing people's information. So I'm sorry about that, but I don't want to share anyone's information that doesn't need that doesn't need to be seen. I'm really curious why that smart proposal did not do what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna try it one more time because I really want you to see how clean these are. Do you have any other questions in the chat that are watching this off of Zoom? This is also being shown live on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this now or later, go ahead and make sure that you put your questions in. But of course, as always, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel to get access and notification of when more training is actually going to happen. That is the gist of TravelJoy. The next trainings I'll do is I'll do an upgraded training on the group funds and how to work group funds, how to set them up, how to build a group booking page, how to do more information about the trip proposals. They're really simple, cut and paste. One of the things I like about the trip proposal is that when you want to add photos, you no longer have to download to your computer and upload. You can literally just copy the link of the gallery for the of the supplier and just put the link there and it'll automatically pull up the photos. And even if it can't pull up all the photos, because sometimes the websites, they haven't protected, you can right click on the photo, copy the photo link, and then put it into the site, and then it'll pull up the photo that way. And it just looks so much cleaner, so much better than just sending it the normal way. And I don't know why it's taking so long to add. So we may not be able to see it like I want to be able to see it. And that's sad because it looks very, very beautiful. But some of my sites have been running a little bit slow. So guys, I guess we're not going to be able to see that information. But guys, do you have any other questions? Because that's basically the end of the intro and the overview of the travel. Someone's asking, oh, wait, there it is. Wait, before I answer your question, I'm going to show you this real quick. So this is what the proposal looks like. This is all filled out. This is what it looks like when they get it. This is a trip that's actually happening and I'm actually working on. It gives you an overview of what's included, the hotels. Isn't this really great and really easy, really simple? And what you can do is if you're doing a lot of trips, say to Mexico, you can actually just create like a test profile and create a smart proposal to save it with this information, like the travel protection, stuff that you would normally put in there. So you have a template to use. So this is the Grand Oasis Palm, and this is all the information, all the photos directly from the actual website. So they can go through the photos and say, oh, wow, oh, yay, I want to go there. You know, they can get all excited. And then they have, I put a lot of photos, guys, because I just took them all. Then we have another hotel. It gives you whatever you type in there is what they get. You can write this and fill this out however you want to do this. The Reef, which is where they're actually going to be staying in Playa del Carmen. All this information is sitting there. It's for them. And it's great because they get to see so much and like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah. Sorry, I put a lot of photos. Probably that's why they're choosing it, because I put so many photos in there. I actually stayed at this place. I think we stayed at this one or their sister resort. I can't remember. I get them confused. More information, but you see how much information is in here. You can put as much stuff as you want. Now, when you do this, you can also put in here the proposal. You can change the cover photo from here. You can do so much in here. You can put the deposit. Generally, I don't put a deposit because it could change and it could vary depending on the actual trip that they choose. Most of the time it doesn't, but I just don't like to. The total price I never put because it's going to vary depending on which hotel you choose. So like, let's look at the Grand Oasis. You see down here at the bottom where it says you can add photos from the website. That's where you put the link, and that's how all of that populated. Simple, easy. Like they say, easy breezy, cover girl. So we had a question I want to go over. Said, I mentioned that creating a budget to work with. How did I determine that? Because this person said they have so many clients saying they don't know their budget. I just created a budget based off of what I wanted to sell. I knew for myself that most of my trips were about $1,500 to $2,500 per person. I also know I want to go to big ticket items. So I increased my budget baseline to $9,000 and more, because I have started booking trips where it was $8,000, $9,000 per couple. You can choose the budget that you want to work within, but you can't choose their budget. What I do is I ask them a series of questions, and that's something that I do have a video on inside of my YouTube channel. So you can go ahead and search that, about how to qualify your your clients. And I'm gonna do an updated version the next couple of weeks to update people on how to do it. But that's essentially how I do it. So guys, I want to go ahead and thank you for spending these 36 minutes. I hope that you went ahead and you was able to go ahead and get some information. For those of you that are looking to go ahead and get the gift, I went ahead and copied it. I'm going to, as you can see, the credits remaining. Yes, I do get compensated for helping you. I get, just like any other affiliate program, and once you get started and you start growing your empire, you can do the same thing with your people. I will update YouTube for that link. Everybody else is inside of the chat. Now, lastly, before we get off, guys, if you are interested in getting coached by me, I do have a free group that I have set up that you can join the group. There will be activities, trainings, events, different things happening to go ahead and get coached. This will not be a how do I book, where do I book type travel training. This is going to be for those who have some sort of a foundation in the business and looking to grow their business, to take it to the next level, not necessarily learn how to book trips. It's going to be more about professional, personal development. How do I go from booking 4 to 5 trips a month to 10 trips a month? How do I make 100K in a year? Different things like that to get yourself out there. I do specialize in social media marketing, so we'll be definitely a lot of social media marketing inside of that group. If you want access to it, you can go ahead and hit me up. Some of you watching live know how to reach me. Those of you watching this on YouTube now or later, I will update the comment section, the description section, and I'll have all that information listed. And if those of you who want to get one-on-one training and join my private group that will have perks and benefits that will be added to it as it grows, that is going to be a separate link. But once you join the Facebook group, you'll be able to get access to that link and make that decision. And as for that, I want to say good night, good evening, and everybody have a great day. This concludes the training at the